Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, bringing you another edition of Dragons in Modern. This week I'm playing a Dimir Dragons build that I played a few months ago but didn't get to record videos. We are featuring Murktide Regent on the back of several of Modern's premier answers, and also graveyard fillers that we're going to, like Stitcher Supplier and Thought Scour, to pump out a early Murktide, as early as turn 2. But the Dragons in Modern part, and the janky part other than Murktide Regent and being the best dragon in Modern, is two dragons. One is Ebondeath Dracolich, and the other is Dragon Turtle, both of which have flash, and both of which do something that is relevant to our game plan. Dragon Turtle can tap down a creature for a couple turns. Ebondeath Dracolich is a 5/2 beater that can also... I don't have a very good hand. We're going to Thought Seize something else away. What does it say? Oh, that's the same one. Interesting. Alright, so we will get rid of this Thought Monitor. Anyway, it has flash, and it also can... again, it has recursion. So 5/2 flash with conditional recursion, but it's still there. It's a powerful threat that can close out games quickly if we can get drawn. In this situation, if we draw a land into Ebondeath Dracolich, we'll be in pretty good shape for closing out this game if our opponent doesn't string together some really powerful artifacts and draws. So we got rid of the Thought Monitor. We'll probably get rid of this thing next turn. 2/2 isn't too frightening, but we're into our fourth match now. First two weren't very close, and the third one we finally got a match win, and it didn't even record. It was very, very frustrating, as I'm sure you can imagine. So now we will see what our opponent drew. Midnight. They were in the tank over that, I guess. So now we will take that. Do we want to save our fetch land for the fatal push? No, we are going to use our fetch land to get Surveil. Although we do need multiple things. Midnight. We could just fatal push that. We need both land and threats, so we'll see what we preordain we'll keep. So we can then preordain to try to find both lands and threats. That'd be nice. Thought Seize will go on the bottom. We could Thought Seize. What is in their hand? They have Frogmite, something else. We can't Thought Seize. Okay, so we'll put that on the bottom. Put this one on the top. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this next turn we are going to counterspell something, hopefully, into a Murktide. Hopefully we'll draw an island. So we can counterspell whatever they're going to play next, play a Murktide, and have a counterspell back up. We could also just fatal push something if they do nothing. That will guarantee us the Murktide as well. And it would be a 7/7, so... Yeah, anyway, we got a match win against a Dimir scam deck. They were fun. Well, the game 2 was brutal, where they double Thought Seized us and we flooded out. But they were also playing this new card, Sator the Infiltrator. But we managed to get there, and it didn't record. I guess I was out of memory, even though when I looked at my folder, it was not. It didn't seem like there was too many videos. Normally, you need more videos before there's not enough memory. And we hit the island, so now we are the ones getting lucky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Alright, I like it. The tide has changed, our luck has changed after losing our first 2 matches. And they scoop it up, as they should. Alright, that is us running well. And the other thing that's frustrating about that match that we won in Game 3, we won on the back of Ebondeath Dracolich. I mean, that's how we won the game. So it's like showcasing the power of some of these janky dragons. The other thing I talked about in that match that is worth mentioning here is that it's a Dimir control deck playing 6 copies of cards that don't see a lot of play. Ebondeath Dracolich and Dragon Turtle. Both of which are just, they're taking up slots that more efficient, powerful cards could be, or answers could be taken up. And then you have Stitcher Supplier to fuel the Murktide. So Dimir control might not be in a great position no matter what. I'm not sure we're in a better position doing what we're doing, but this is Dragons in Modern. Excuse me, now I love dragons, so I'm going to play Dragons in Modern. Alright, so I'm assuming we're going to see some Urza Sagas. So we'll bring in Ashioks. This is what... Boomerangs could be good. Spell Snare. We didn't see a whole lot of mana value 2, although it's Affinity, so we did see that one card. Alright, so we'll take out that. Poor Dragon Turtle never gets to play. Thought Seizes could be good, but our opponent can... I mean, it does hit, let's say, their payoff. So they have a really fast start with 1 payoff card, and we can Thought Seize it out of their hand. Stern Scolding, 2 or less, that hits a lot of things, preordained. So we'll take out 1 Thought Seize, 1 Stitcher Supplier, 1 Thought Scour. Force Negation, not at its best currently. It looked like a really heavy creature build, although there are some. So maybe we take out both forces and bring in a Subtlety. Take out an Ebondeath, bring in another Subtlety. Run it like that. Okay. I feel like we stole that game right there. We were on the play. Our opponent mulled a 5. We had some highly interactive hand with a double Thought Seize plus counter magic plus the threat right on time. So I mean we were running good that game. Well, we have 1 land. We do have interaction. Do we trust the magic gods to find us more lands? We need a lot more lands though. We don't have any ways to. We maybe should have brought in Damnations now in hindsight. Okay, these are some lands, preordained, a little bit of interaction. Okay. 1, 2, 3. We want all those spells, so we will put this swamp to the bottom. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have too fast of a start. There's the Murktide, Murky McMurkenstein. Both of those are good. They're slow, but they're good. Ashiok, I mean, we haven't seen the Urza Saga land yet, and we do need to make our land drops. I really like this counterspell, though. I'm going to keep the counterspell. I'll put the Ashiok on the bottom for now. We've yet to see Urza Saga land, and even if we do, we have a Boomerang, which doesn't answer it forever. They're right on time. We didn't have the land to cast the Ashiok anyway, so keeping both would have been risky. Springleaf Drum. Okay, man, we're getting a little bit lucky here with our lands. So the good thing about Boomerang is that it can answer. We could just bounce this. I mean, that I was really aggressive. So then they'd have to play a creature. We have counter magic. I think we're gonna. I was really aggressive against the Gruul Stickshot deck with my Boomerangs, and it just came back to bite me so hard. I mean, we have the Fatal Push. We can Fatal Push the first Construct. We can Stern Scolding something here maybe if they try to play something, just because we want to get more instants and sorceries in the vet. So if we play Stern Scolding and Fatal Push, we end up with enough to play Murktide. So now do we boomerang? So what we can do is boomerang and force their hand. Or we can surveil. But what do we want to boomerang? Do we want to boomerang the blue source? Do we want to boomerang the Urza Saga? I think we'll boomerang the blue source. Make them tap down to get a token. I mean, I like boomerang a lot. I'm not sure how powerful it is. Yep. So now we can play it slow and fatal push. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could, now that we do another island, we can play it slow and fatal push this. Did we already play a land? Yeah. Or we can fatal push this and run out of Murktide. They're gonna go get another. They're not gonna be able to make another construct though. I think we're gonna do that, and then our opponent's gonna be really low on resources. And this is a 6/6. So if we can untap with a 6/6, and our opponent will be down to no construct, a tap land in hand, we might be able to win this race with what's in our hand to protect our Murktide. However, they're going to go get some kind of answer. That was the turn to do it. They could have gone to get Graveyard Hate. So I'm glad I wasn't even thinking about that, but this is a way for them to go get something like a relic to nuke our graveyard. And now we've got our Murktide down ahead of that. They currently don't have any creatures. They don't have a way to make blue mana. I'm hoping they don't have a way to answer this Murktide. We get on tap. They just went for another Springleaf Drum. So maybe they do have a way. Yep. I mean, a lot of creatures. 0 mana creatures that they can tap. Is it enough to flood the board and pressure our life enough? They have 5 cards in hand. Affinity can go off quick. Alright, so they're going to have 4 mana. Thought Monitor. Do they have an answer for the Murktide? Another Thought Monitor. And they get a draw. Man, so good. 7 mana though. Nettle Cyst. This is a 9/9. This is where we want the boomerang. Now our opponent's really going off. Alright. It's an 11/11. And it says, yeah, this is where our opponent's like, see, you did your thing, we doing ours. We're going to be taking a lot, and I don't think we can win the race. This is why we should have brought in Damnation. It's not that we could cast it right now anyway. Boomerang slowed him down, but not quite enough. Thoughtseize, they get to see our Ashiok. I mean, we just have to run. We have to go for it. We have to. They have jump blockers for days, so they're gonna have a big hit. 2, 4, 8, 10, 21. We have some counter magic to protect, and we have a blocker to stop the 11/11. But then they can just block here, and we're taking 2, 4, 6, 8. I mean, we're just taking so much. I don't think there's any coming back on here after that. We slowed him down a little bit, but man, what a hand from our opponent. Now what horror is coming our way? White mana. Interesting. They're equipping. That's what's happening. Got it. Taking for 13. I mean, I guess that's alright. Right? What's our best? Oh man. Are we just dead? I think we're just dead. So we blocked the 4/4, 14. Yeah, we're dead. GG's. About to say, I mean, forget they could attack with everybody. Ashiok. Oh man, maybe we take out the Ashioks. Obviously, we were able to play around it pretty nicely. We'll bring in the Damnations. Boomerang, they saw the Ashiok. So man, Force Negation would have been good in that matchup against the Nettle Cyst. As would. All right, so Stern Scolding. I mean, it's got its moments, right? Thought Monitor. It's pretty narrow. We just need to take out one card. Maybe we take out a single Boomerang or a single Subtlety. Counterspell is, I mean, it's powerful, but man, you saw like they can just empty their hand so quickly. It's really, maybe Thoughtseize is the right way to go to really, now that we're on the play, to interact with our opponent's hand as best as possible. Subtlety, maybe not. Alright, well, let's see if we can't get this game win here. So for the match, it'd be nice to get, at least have a shot at a 3-2 record, but... And also, I'm assuming that, I mean, this, it says it's recording the last video instead of recording the last match, and it didn't record, so hopefully it's recording, and yeah, hopefully it's recording, and that I'll get a win to show you on the back of Ebondeath Dracolich, like I did in the last match. Although, there's still hope. There's hope I might be able to, maybe it got recorded and saved somewhere else, but I don't know why I would have done that. Well, we really are going to need another, we're going to keep. We have a lot of interaction, we have a threat, we really need this to be an island is the only thing. But we'll go get a Watery Grave, Preordain, Thoughtseize, and they kept 7. Yeah, Thoughtseize is best. Maybe I should have mulled it again once. I don't know, it's really hard to pitch this hand. I mean, look at this. Tons of interaction. We just need our draws and draws to work out for us. We need to hit. We need them not to have like a start that they just empty their hand. Man, there's our double blue. So we will. Do we just keep a? I think we just keep on. I think we really just want to make land drops. So we're gonna keep top. Hope our opponent doesn't have a super fast start where they can threaten us. Alright. Is that it? Nope. Alright, that's not the scariest of starts. It's a good one though. However, we're going to have them, hopefully we'll get a Murktide down soon. We have the counter magic, we have the Stern Scolding, depending on what they want to try to run out here. We have a Boomerang. We don't have the Fatal Push. So we will go get, this is a 2, so we're going to go get an Undercity Sewers. Surveil. Boomerang number 2. Do we want to keep that? We could just bounce that land to their hand. If they don't have another one. That is a dirty move. However, I mean, it's not a tap land. If it's a tap, there's a Saga. I was about to say, if it's a tap land, I might be tempted to bounce it. So, I mean, they're just everything's so cheap and then they refuel. I don't know what we were hoping to do here. We kept boomerang on top. That might have been a mistake in hindsight. We do have a counter magic. They're not putting any pressure on us yet. We could... Oh, we're just going to hold up counter magic. I'm going to say we could run out this Murktide and put shields down. Oh, what are they going to do? They're probably going to pass the turn and make Karnstrucks. That's what I imagine they're going to do. Or if we tap down, they might do something more heinous. And this is only going to be a 5/5, which is a 4-turn clock. Alright, we're going to go for it. It's tough. Shields are going down, but we will have 1 mana open to make it look like we might have something. We kind of want our opponent to just spend their turns making Karnstrucks, and then we can bounce them. I wonder if our opponent is streaming. There's a long lag in some of his turns. I mean, there is for me too, obviously, as I think these plays out. I mean, it would be... I don't care how we get the match win. It's nice to get a match win, but if we get it on the back of a Murktide, it's going to feel less nice as if we get it on the back of one of our janky dragons. But, you know, we have them in the deck. Can't help what we draw in this context. Maybe not putting the boomerang in the graveyard was a mistake. I guess we'll find out, and we'll never know since I'm fetching, but it's possible we should have put that in the graveyard, held onto the 1 boomerang, and dug for I don't know, more action, a damnation maybe, because now we're putting ourselves in a position to answer what's on the board. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a way to refill any more than they already have. Boomerangs answer Karnstrucks, Murktide swings in, and hopefully our opponent doesn't follow it up with anything good. But they have so many blockers in the air with these Ornithopters. Alright, well, opponent's really struggling over there with maybe they went to the bathroom. Maybe they're talking to their stream. Could just get another black source, but we don't need one. Alright, opponent, do your worst. We are leaving up representing Stern Scolding, though, so that is something. If this had been an island, I might have waited a turn. Now, since it's not an island, we could easily, very likely, not draw into an island and have wasted that turn except for countering whatever nonsense they do, and they would have passed the turn just to make Karnstrucks. Which I'm kind of hoping they do anyway, but they have, access to 4 mana now. Yep. They're down to 1 card. What's it going to be? I'm assuming they're going to want to keep up 2 mana to make a Karnstruct. An island would be good here. Fatal Push would be acceptable, as we could Fatal Push this Ornithopter to make sure we get into 5 damage. And still hold up a Boomerang for the Karnstruct. So they could tap, make a Karnstruct, have 1 blue left. Damnation isn't our friend since we need this Murktide to hold down the fort, but if we draw a Stitcher Supplier, at least it's something that can start blocking, and we are gonna theoretically we'll win the race, right? We hit him, we'll be, although they have these 1/1s. I always forget about their little guys, or I have been forgetting about their little guys this match. They can still swing in with 1/1s to help it hit for 7 each turn, so they're gonna win the race, or hit for 6 each turn. That means they win the race. All right, opponent. I'm in my 4th of 5 matches. I would really like to eat lunch soon. If you could please hurry up. That would be kind. I'll just, check my email and stuff over here on my phone while I wait on my opponent to do whatever it is they're doing. I guess I'll turn off the mic while I wait. Alright, our opponent is back. They've gone to combat. They are probably going to make a construct. We drew a polluted delta. That is another blue source. We would like to not draw any more of those, however. So they're going to probably block the Ornithopter, then tap it to get a blue to get some mana. And hopefully they won't just break our will to play over every single click being slow as slow can be. No, that one, and we. Wait, there is some logic, I think. I'm not sure actually. So if we boomerang there's a saga, they're going to get 1 construct out of it. Right? And then they don't get to go fetch up, what, a Shadow Spear? They gotta be playing Shadow Spear. So if we boomerang this, they make the construct, and then they get to run it back. We're gonna need to boomerang the construct, so then it just gives them more time to find constructs, and we're still on a very fast clock. So yeah, I mean, it's not looking good. I think we're in a position where we really need to draw Damnation. And for our opponent not to go get a Shadow Spear to equip to this Sojourners. I mean, they're gonna have, wow, there's just every step is a slog. I guess they might be running into connection issues. They're going to make another construct. That is okay. What did they go get? They still have some mana. Alright, they went and got... So we will bounce. Go get an island. Waiting and waiting and waiting. So this is the new hotness, and I will say that when I read it, I thought it would for sure find a home in some sort of Urza Saga deck. I mean, it's not like it's rocket science. You see an artifact with 1 mana casting cost, it's automatically considered for Urza Saga, but the haste and the ward, I mean, you see the power of it. You get 2 9/9s. One now has haste and ward. Oh, and the slowness continues. Alright, so we're going to bounce both of the tokens. Hopefully they don't have a follow-up. See if they try to connect. And they do. So I guess maybe it was smart to keep these boomerangs. The boomerang actually came through for us. The 2 of them. Now, is it just prolonging the agony? Now they're going to equip it. Yep, go ahead. Give your thing ward. We can't stop it. What we need is a Stitcher supplier. We are out of action. I can't believe I'm saying those words. We just need chump blockers to help win the race. We're losing this race. They have 1 card in hand. We have a counterspell. So what we really need is any sort of... I mean, this is where Dragon Turtle would really shine, tapping down their 1 threat. It's amazing that we got to a point with Affinity where they only have 1 real threat, but that's their big threat if we could tap it down. Alternatively, we could try not to win the race and just hold up counter magic and hold down the fort with blocking, but we lose the battle, right? They kill our Murktide, so, and they have ways to draw cards we don't. So I think our best draw here is not a land. We would really like, I mean, Damnation could be okay. Fatal Push is not good. I would say Ashiok's not at his best. Ebondeath Dracolich, Thoughtseize is really not good. Do we even care? I mean, we have... Our clock is the same. We're at 5, 6, 7. We go to 7. Actually, we can't Thoughtseize without dying. Let's see what they have. Alright, well, that's definitely worth taking. And now we can't attack. So we're going to have to counterspell whatever they cast. Hopefully it's not an Urza Saga, because we can't do anything about that. Block here. I mean, we're still looking for... I mean, a Damnation would be our best draw, just to reset the board, but we need action too. So we're looking at needing a Damnation and a creature. So it's possible we should have held on to the Murktide another turn, or just in hoping to draw the Damnation, but that's... Urza Saga took so many of our resources and left them with a Lava Spur, which is going to let them trade up with the Murktide. Alright, what do they got? And it may have been a mistake in Game 2 not to bring in the Damnations. I think I went into it with thinking they would be too slow. And I think even you can see why I thought it would be too slow. Let's say we Damnation, we draw it, cast it, our opponent keeps 2 cards in hand, or just draw top decks. anything that can, now they have this artifact that gives it haste. Our opponent though is creeping down. Holy cow, I guess this is going to motivate me to figure out editing in a way that is, it's just such a, I've edited things in the past. It's been a long time, and the software I'm using, I haven't figured it out exactly the best way to edit. So there's a learning curve there that is preventing me from doing it. But when you have games like this where you're just like, minutes go by just to lose, probably. Well, maybe they'll time out, right? Alright, our opponent went to combat. Holy moly. And they're going to attack with everything, as I foresaw. Because I can see the future, obviously. We will block. We will hopefully draw something good. They will equip, sure. Another Murktide would be nice. Pithing Needle. What would they name? I mean, it can't be Murktide, can it? I'm really curious. I don't even know what you name. Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll take our opponent 2 minutes to name it. Engineered explosives. Alright, so they're thinking they'll just protect. Alright, please give us some action here, deck. Fatal Push. Alright, I mean, it's better than a land. It would have liked to have been, I mean, we don't play a lot of creatures, but we really need this. We need our opponent to hit a land, us to Fatal Push, take one, play the Murktide, have Counterspell backup. That's how. Another Frogmite. So, I mean, a Frogmite, this is Ward 1. A Frogmite is a threat, is the problem. We're dead to any threat, so we're going to counter that. We're going to go to combat. We're going to Fatal Push. We'll take one. They're going to equip. We go to 4. Desperate for a Murktide. Stern Scolding. That is a counterspell for something that they probably won't cast because, I mean, they might. It might get something. Really anything at this point. If we can counter it, we will. And we are dead. Well, for Johnny Cycles and CyclesGaming.com, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Man, just could not find any answers and our opponent played so slow. Alright y'all, thanks for watching.
This is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, and this has been another edition of Dragons and Modern. Be sure to go to my site and check out all of my original Magic the Gathering content, where I post articles and video of my janky modern brews in my commander decks. I'm also publishing a couple chapters every month for my science fiction fantasy novel called The Pod Kind. Check me out on YouTube as well. Click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one.